So that was Michael Charles, who's this solicitor who has been instructed to support or help Sarah with this legal challenge. And many of you have read his posts on Facebook and so on, and you know that he is coming from a place of legit, real sincere concern for what this act means for so many families, because that's his job. That's what he works with. He works with families that are impacted, and he's very aware of that. Randall, do you have anything else that you wanted to add at this stage?
No, I was just waiting on because I realised Michael was there and it was time limited. So I don't know if there was anything coming in while I was talking on
I didn't
any of the
see many
chats.
other comments, but obviously, it is extremely concerning to see the direction of travel, of where things were, and the respect for the family, the understanding of the family unit, and that there were certain thresholds the state did not cross. But
Yeah,
yet now it's becoming like, oh, well, we have a right to, because the child. And yet there's very little evidence to suggest that it's going to make any significant difference. And in fact, I think we'll see more harm being done through this. And, people are going to be impacted, children are going to be impacted. And we cannot be quiet about this. We cannot. We really, really need to raise the alarm and let people know. We've Michelle and I have been struggling with people like Randall and others to inform people about this when it was still a bill,
I
and to
think
try and fight back on it. And now we're past that point. What can we still do? And this is one thing we can still do.
I think that there is one thing we take encouragement from, but we've got to realise it. The home educating community have got to realise it. The illustration I'll use is that the petition, which suddenly took off last year when Starmer started talking about digital ID, and suddenly people realised that what was in the bill was digital ID for children, all children. And the hard thing is to get away from saying, look, this is happening to us poor home educators. This agenda affects every child.
Yeah, and there are many people that didn't listen.
Everybody's
Yeah,
child. The illustration being that in 2013, I think it was, when the government, on a similar track to the Every Child Matters here in England, in Scotland, it was called Getting It Right for Every Child.
yeah,
And part of that was the named person scheme. And the home educators in Scotland smelt a rat with that. And they got a legal opinion, a low level one, but they then took it to different organizations, one of which was the Christian Institute. And the Christian Institute said, yes, this is right. This will affect every child in Scotland, not just home educated ones. And they ran with it, and the Christian Institute lost that case.
mm.
And even in this crowdfunder, if we can see that this fact that the government is taking away parental responsibility from families, they are in fact taking it therefore away from every family.
Yeah.
And we have got to make it known that this is why it concerns everybody, not just those who are home educating. It affects even those who wouldn't touch home education with a barge pole at the moment.
Mm. Yeah, and there are a lot of people that, when we have been trying to raise awareness of the act, of the bill, when it was still a bill, and the concerns we had, and then when the social media stuff crept in at the 11th hour, people not really thinking it affects them, but
Yeah,
yet it is going to affect adults as well as children. And um, it's sad that we were right. We
yeah.
don't want to be right about these things, but we are going to see this erosion, which is very, very worrying.
And
So,
and and I'll just finish with that point. I'll just come back to that point. It's not just even in this country. The one
exactly.
good thing to say is there is one nation, one leading prominent nation that has never signed the UNCRC, and that is the USA.
Mm.
And the reason they didn't was that the homeschooling lobby there spotted the dangers well in advance, and they lobbied and they lobbied and they lobbied, and
Yeah.
they never, the US has never ratified the UNCRC. Doesn't stop people in the States trying to get it in by the back door, but it's there. But the agenda is that it is the state's job to ensure that every child gets their rights. No, human rights was written to stop the state denying children rights,
Yes,
not
but
not
yes,
so
because
that was the
there's been
different thing.
countries where children have been really badly treated because they didn't have that. And I think I've lost my
Yeah.
train of thought.
Mm.
But we wanted to move on a little bit to some fundraising ideas
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And are
I,
you
I
having to head off?
I will move on now. I was just, conscious of I didn't know when your next
Yeah,
guest,
yeah,
so I'll leave you to do that. So thank you for
yeah,
having me, and I may well be listening in. Okay.
And
yes,
yes, you can upload, and because then we can signpost to your website as well.
Okay. So
yes.
I'll get the video one way or another. Thank you.
Great, thanks.